I forgot like a whole second part of that I wanted to add to it. So I like to, at least I used to like to read a lot. I haven't read as much. I still like read a book, like a chapter of a book, like often, but just not like I did in like high school or college. But I read a lot of books about drugs, especially because from my lineage, a lot of my ancestors on like my father's side have done a lot of meth, so I wanted to learn about it rather than do it. So I read a book called by Nick Sheff, and it's called I can't remember what that book's called, but it's by Nick Sheff. It's a really good book, and he talks about his own story about how he started doing heroin and meth. He started breaking into his parents' house, and like it just shows how much his life just spirals. And then like there's other books like Go Ask Alice is a really good one. I believe there's a song and a movie made from the book, but it's actually a diary that people found and wrote in, like just made it, published it. And yeah, she starts out, she goes to like a party and she starts doing acid, and she like leaves her parents' house, goes to a different state, and she just like, you know, just spirals. She ends up having this one acid trip that puts her in the hospital, and she feels that she's taking bugs out of all of her skin and stuff, and it's interesting to read. Another really good book series that I've read was the Crank series. That's kind of what I call it, I guess. It's by Ellen Hopkins. There's Crank, Glass, and then the third book's really good. I can't remember what it's called. And it's about her, it's from the point of view from her children. So the main character, can't remember her name, in Crank by Ellen Hopkins. She has a bunch of really good books. Most of her books are just poems. Ellen Hopkins is a really good author. But she talks about how, like, it's from, so Ellen Hopkins had a daughter who was a meth addict, and so this is Ellen Hopkins' book from her daughter's point of view. So I think it's a really interesting like take on how to write a book. But yeah, she gets messed up with boys, and of course then she starts doing meth, and in the second book it's kind of similar. You know, she comes to like borrow money from her parents and stuff, and in the third book she's had several kids that she has like minimal to no contact with, and in the book they end up like meeting each other, and it's just different poems from the different children. Really cool book. What's another book I've read? I know there's another one, but anyway, those are just some good like books on drugs that I've read, rather than, I don't know, because I'm interested about things, and like I like reading about how they work, but I'd rather like learn from others' mistakes, if that makes sense. Because like, I don't know, just seeing like within my family like how much like meth has really like destroyed a lot of things. I don't know, it's nice to like read a book about how like, wow, like that's not the only like family that would relate to that kind of thing. Like it's a normal thing, and like that not only sucks, but like it futuristically could empower people to not want to be like that, not want to go into those kinds of hard drugs. So yeah, Crank, Glass, and the third book by Ellen Hopkins. She has a lot of good books. Nick Sheff, he writes a book that I can't remember what it's called, and Go Ask Alice is a really good book. I want to say it's by like Penguin Club or something like that. Yeah, all really good books. Yeah.